Good morning, Shannon.
Well, hi there, and welcome to NPR's NOMS, which stands for Nerding Out with who?
Matches and Shannon.
You dang right! Woo! Isn't that right, Mr. Scream?
We're two grown adults with a 6th grade education, and we want to talk to you about movies.
You went to 6th grade?
Sorry, bud.
Yeah, you were in a bigger town. We only had 5 grades, and the 5th grade was pretty much getting you ready to cut wood, so dadgummit. No, I did go to a small town, but we had all 14 grades. Just like
no.
As I said before when you came on, I said, tonight Matches will be playing the part of Teddy Kruger.
That's right.
I'll be in your dreams, but I'll just tickle you.
For a long time, maybe since college.
Really?
Yeah, I've worn this. I still am the same size. I'm sorry. Maybe a little smaller.
I had 2 kids, man. I think I put on sympathy weight. I really do.
I wear t-shirts I still wore in high school. I'm just saying.
You know what? I have 1 or 2 shirts that I can still wear. In fact, I think I have a shirt that I had in the 6th grade that I can still wear, but you know what it is? What? I can't remember what it was called. It was one of those color change shirts.
Yeah.
You remember that? Like if it got hot, Hypercolor. That's it.
Yeah.
It was a dude in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it got hot, it would turn into like board shorts and a surfing shirt.
Are you serious?
Yes, you had to sweat his clothes off. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that and Magic Eye. What an era.
Wow. It's a schooner.
Yeah, it's a sailboat, you idiot.
It's a scooter. Man, well, speaking of not knowing what it is, welcome to NOMS, What It Is Indeed. We are at the tail end of our special month, aren't we, Mr. Mashes?
We are. It's the end of Vampuary.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. We just want to say thanks very much.
Yeah, and we want to just get this over with. No pun.
Oh, yeah, because it bites so bad. We want to get this over with. We just want this done as soon as possible because it is Tuesday night. And my shows are on, my stories. Right. Is Abbott Elementary on tonight? No. Oh, no, St. Dennis Medical is. Have you watched that yet?
I don't think so. I'm watching The Pit right now.
Not as funny. Not as funny.
It's got a personality of a busy ER, I think. Is what
you know what's funny? I heard there was some lawsuit talk or like some stealing talk because they said apparently people behind ER, I don't know what kind of people, are mad because they think they stole elements for The Pit. And I guess that element would be Noah Wiley, but they can have him.
I don't know, but there's like it says like producers of ER and something else. So
are they involved?
I don't know. Depends on the producers could have been involved in some way of maybe producing, but not directing or being involved in the show. You know,
that is true.
They might have raised money for the show, but I don't know.
Well, that leads me to something that has nothing to do with what we're going to do tonight. But real quick, you know, sometimes when they show movies on TV, it used to be a big deal back in the day before we had 1,000 channels and streaming everything, right? I'm watching the show on my watch right now. Back in the day when they would premiere a movie on TV, usually about 3 years after, right? So they premiered A Few Good Men in 1995. Nice. And what was the big hit? One of the big hit shows of the 94-95 season. Do you remember? We just talked about it literally seconds ago.
Oh, ER?
ER, that's right. And Noah Wiley was in ER. Yeah. Did you know Noah Wiley was in A Few Good Men?
Was he really?
I completely because it said starring Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Nicholson, and Noah Wiley. Because they premiered it on NBC.
I thought he only did ER.
Apparently, he had 5 seconds in A Few Good Men.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
and Matches, that is the truth. And you know what? You can't handle it. Speaking of what?
You had 5 seconds in A Few Good Men, Shannon. You beat me.
We want to thank you for watching NOMS and listening. We want to thank all the people who've been here. We'll be taking a quick sabbatical.
We're cracked out today.
Well, this is a normal Tuesday, okay?
It is.
That's like someone saying, "What'd you have for dinner?" I had 5 guys. I've had people post that on Facebook before, and I'm like, "Don't do it. It's a trap."
Oh no!
It's a trap. They do make good burgers, though. We got to say that. But speaking of delicious ingredients, it is Vampuary, and we started it off with a bang with Near Dark. We had a Fright Night, and then we had John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah.
But tonight, technically, I just heard something about February in my earphones. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
This is going to air in February, but we don't care. Well, we took a week off, remember, for the holidays? Mm-hmm. So technically,
that's fine. Yeah.
February's Vampuary. It's the shortest month. We'll have 2 days left. So we're going to end it with a bang. We're going to end it with a very well-beloved movie that is not just a well-beloved movie. It's a well-beloved novel, a well-beloved franchise, a little raton boulet. Tell them what movie we're doing on this episode of NOMS.
We're doing Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Very serious.
Oh, very serious and a very, passionate. Oh,
Very passionate.
vampire.
It's
a very,
what channel?
well, I was just going to say it's AKA Job Interview with the Vampire, but that was a throw off.
Okay. It's the Vampire Chronicles.
Yeah, well, that's what they ended up calling all the books. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Originally, the original novel was 1976. Did you know that?
I knew it was a while back. Yeah.
Let me make sure I wrote
Which
that
one
down
was that?
right. No, 1979. Sorry.
Still, that's the year after I was born. Yeah. What did it start with?
That would be 2 years, huh? Oh,
Where did
the
it start
very
with?
first Interview with the Vampire was the very first book.
Okay. I
And
had
then
the Vampire Lestat.
That was somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah, I lost it. Reading it halfway through, and I never found it. And maybe someone stole it, but I never finished it. So.
Oh, you never finished the second book?
Yeah, nuh-uh.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I was trying it out.
These books were very, very popular around, like, my school. Again, you got to remember we went to a run-room school. But in my grade, we kind of all loved the same books for a while. Like, at one point, we were all reading Stephen King. At another point, we were all reading Sweet Valley Twins. Don't judge me, but it's exciting.
We were all so dark and mysterious back then.
Yeah, the Sweet Valley Twins. There were some mysteries. But yeah, and then at one point at our senior year, we were all reading Anne Rice. And everyone was talking about the Anne Rice vampire novels, which at the time, there were only 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, just 3.
They had the Vampire Lestat, and then they had Memnoch the Devil at some point.
No, Queen of the Darned was the
Queen
third
of the
one.
Damned. Yeah,
Queen of the Damned.
Right
Sorry,
before
Mom.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Memnoch the Devil. And I think that might have been when I was graduating.
Yeah,
my freshman
it was somewhere around there. Yeah.
Around 95, 96. Yeah.
It was the latest one on the block. Yeah.
And of course, everyone wanted to talk about those other Anne Rice novels that she wrote. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Sleeping Beauty novels from the 80s?
I'm talking about the Sleeping Booty. I'm talking about her erotica. Now, I think it was along the levels of like a Fabio type cover novel, right? Like ripping the bodice.
Something like that. Yeah, it had a lot of slavery and forced
wow.
stuff in that. Yeah, it was real. It was about, the princess awakens and copulates with the prince, and then they're
which is Spanish for has coffee.
And then all the princes and princesses from all of the lands come there to become servants and concubines and all kinds of things. And after a long time of humiliation and all kinds of stuff, they're ready to go back into the world anew. And this is the basic premise of these books. I know this.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was the worst episode of Chicago Hope I ever saw.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Don't
even bother rewinding. It was bad.
That's funny. But yeah, Anne Rice wrote Interview with the Vampire. Like you said, it is a very serious movie in the sense that, okay, you remember how last week we were talking about John Carpenter's vampires, and how James Woods was warning the father that the priest that it's not going to be like romantic, brooding, these are like fancy vampires. They're like in your face, ugly bloodsuckers. And maybe that was a riff on Interview with the Vampire, because while this is a really good movie, it also takes itself really seriously.
Yeah, I didn't remember that from back then.
I did, because I was a little pretentious, as I think we all were sometimes.
Was there a plot in this movie? It just seemed to be them kind of walking around, like doing stuff.
It's kind of an introduction to the
ending
vampire
was
world.
Really good.
And we'll talk about that.
Gut-wrenching and action-packed, and I loved it. Like, I loved the end.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, we will definitely talk about that. At the time, you'd had Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah. So that was a big epic vampire movie. And this was too, and it was just so it was so good, but at the same time, it was just like there was an air of I'm a vampire, I love it. And If you will, you said this one did seem to have a plot. If anything, it's like introduction to the vampire. It's like Vampire 101.
Yeah.
Kinda, you know?
Yeah, it is. Like, yeah.
Like, how to
we
be a
established
vampire in
rules
10
in
easy
this
steps.
one, you know.
Right. Of course, directed by Neil Jordan, who was riding high at that point. You know, he had been sort of a, not indie, but kind of a, like, underrated, you know, filmmaker. He had
He
started
did a
off
lot
on,
of things. A few of them I've heard of, and then the rest I don't think I have. So, yeah.
well, one of his first films was a really wicked twist on the whole Red Riding Hood fairy tale, In the Company of Wolves.
Oh,
It's kind of a horror film and kind of
Yeah.
a fantasy. Yeah,
Really?
it's not a bad movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a bad movie. Angela Lansbury is in this movie. So,
Wow.
and I still don't understand that ending, but apparently it has something to do with getting older. I don't know. But he did that.
Okay.
He did the movie High Spirits with Steve Guttenberg and Daryl Hannah and Liam
That sounds
Neeson
familiar. Okay.
and Beverly D'Angelo and Jennifer Tilly and Peter
What?
Gallagher. I think I could, and Peter O'Toole.
Wow. What was this about?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was 12, I thought this was the funniest movie ever. It was about a guy and his wife who go to a castle in Ireland that bills itself as a haunted castle. They don't think they are. They're doing fake stuff. Turns out there's real ghosts there. And I watched it a year ago. I was like, oh, High Spirits. I haven't seen this movie in decades.
Wow.
Let's watch it. This movie was horrible.
Are you serious?
So bad.
Oh, no. It has all those
None of
people
it-
in it, though.
I know. Well, when I was 12, I was like, this movie's hilarious. I love it. But so he did that. And then Neil Jordan, he got a ticket. He got his ticket rope where he could direct anything he wanted to
Yeah.
because he was riding high on a little comedy or horror film, depending on if no one told you the twist, The Crying Game.
Oh, yeah.
A movie that had many men who weren't warned ahead of time go, "Wah!"
And it's considered in poor taste now, but that's okay.
Is it? Well,
It
here's the
is.
thing. If you take away that big twist, that big reveal, is it a good movie? Like, it's okay. It's a
I don't think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a good movie. Yeah.
It's not that great. That was the whole thing that made it Oscar nominated and beloved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But he got a chance to write his own ticket. He got handed an interview with the vampire. He was inspired by Bram Stoker's. He was inspired by Francis Ford Coppola's version of Dracula.
Yeah.
And Anne Rice wrote the script. She went through many changes. And we're going to talk about all that. But also, when we talk about movies, who do we take along for the ride there, Matches?
We take along for the ride. Our bestie boos, our best friends, our bays, if you will.
Our brothers from another mother. Our bays.
Bay.
Besties. That's for the
That's
kids.
right. That's
for the
Siskel and Ebert. That is
Uh-huh.
Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel.
Gone too soon. That's
Gone
right.
too
Two,
soon, baby.
if not the greatest critics of all time, two of the greatest film critics of all time, who always had fun, especially when they disagree. The fights they would have, you know, man, just the disagreements, the arguments, so many things. I still can't believe Gene Siskel loved John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah, I think there was a little interference there, but you know, it was,
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're going to see what they thought about Interview with the Vampire before anything. And as per usual, I don't know anything about the review unless I had watched it years ago.
and
So
I
used to
don't.
watch
Well,
this with you.
sometimes I remember, and this one I don't remember.
No, I never saw this one.
really.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
know if
I never
so.
saw this one. So, what do you think they thought about it?
Are we going into the review now? There we go. Now it's officially started. I mean, it's
Okay.
the same. It's whatever.
Sorry, buddy. I'm just so
So, yeah.
excited.
I don't know. Back then, I really enjoyed this movie. You know, it was cool and flashy and whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's serious.
Yeah, it was serious. It was sad. It was, you know.
It was.
Yeah.
It was everything you'd. It's everything you'd ever want from Vampire 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anne Rice, like I said, this was her first novel in the Vampire Chronicles, and we'll talk about this later, but she was inspired to write it by the death of her daughter, sadly. And so I think you know what that's leading to in the book and movie. And for the most part, the movie's not that different from the book.
Oh,
For
really?
the most part. Yeah.
Okay.
There's some minor changes here and there. I think Lestat's dad is alive in the book. Yeah. So, but the character of Lestat would, of course, be the main vampire. And then we got Louis de Lac de Louis Le Ha Ha Ha, who is the titular interviewee who found a guy who's curious. Apparently, he wants to know, he thinks there's vampires. And this guy is interviewing Louis. And the interviewer is unnamed in the book and the movie. But later in the other books and in the series adaptation, which we could talk about, his name is Daniel Malloy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he has a name. And apparently he shows up in the later books.
Neat.
And
Okay.
becomes a vampire.
That's
Spoiler!
Yeah, you figure by the ending, he really wanted to check it out and see what's going on. And he was given a choice.
Yeah.
He was given a
And
choice.
who are our main hunks of beef in this movie? Who's our main stars?
Well, we've got, let's see, Tandy Newton.
Was she in the movie?
She was, yeah. I saw her name in the credits, and then she was the servant girl that they had at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh,
and
okay.
he tells her to run, and they set the house on fire, whatever. But
Wow.
yeah, she was. But we're talking about, of course, Brad Pitt and Tom
Yes.
Cruise.
Yes.
I
Two
know,
of the biggest.
and Rice hated Tom Cruise's
Let's talk
casting
about that
of
real
this.
quick.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
did. Now, my wife was asking me, why was Anne Rice upset with his casting? And I explained the best I could because I don't know all the details, but apparently he was too Hollywood for her, or she just thought he couldn't bring a darkness to the role or a
He's like
gravitas.
100% wrong for the character, and she could not imagine a world where this is good. So she had nothing to do with the production.
No, she was very upset. In fact, she suggested, I have it written down here, she suggested actors like Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
I can see that. John Malkovich.
Maybe.
John Malkovich? See that? RoboCop, Peter Weller,
Okay.
maybe. And the funniest of all,
I knew this.
Alexander Goodenough.
Oh.
Do you know that name?
Okay. I don't know. Actually, there's another
Oh, tell me.
that she went to speak to personally.
Oh,
Tom
okay, I think I know,
Hanks.
but go ahead.
Tom Hanks after his role in Philadelphia.
No!
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
She
Tom
couldn't see
Hanks?
Tom Cruise as Lestat, but she could see, Tom Hanks as. She didn't make any sense. She was kind of a bad person.
Yeah, can you imagine what that movie would have been like? Like, I've been a vampire for a long time there, sport. And, oh, hang on. I'm sorry, I have to bite you. I don't do a Tom Hanks impression, but there you go. That's what it would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah.
You know what it would be if Tom Hanks starred as Lestat? It'd be bosom buddies.
Oh,
The
yeah.
vampire would be right.
Yeah, there's a
Say
lot
what
of
you
almost
will.
casting in this. Like River Phoenix was going to be the interviewee. And
Yes,
died
yes.
like
River-
2 days before filming or something. Yeah.
Literally, yeah, weeks before filming. That's right, because they were filming in late '94, and he
Yeah.
died outside the Viper Room, and
Yeah.
so they had to quickly recast it with Christian Slater, who did a
Yeah.
great job. Because
He donated his money from this to charities. So, yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And if you think about it, it's an important role, but it's a very small role
Yeah, yeah.
because he's not in the movie that much. Like Louis is mostly telling the movie through flashback. So every now and then you see Christian Slater going, "Now hold on just a minute there. What are you saying? There's vampires." But I wanted to go back real quick. Alexander Goodenough. Do you know
Yeah.
that name?
I know the name, but I can't place it.
You heard it about a month or so ago. He was Carl in Die Hard, the big strapping blonde dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it sounds
You
familiar.
can see
yeah,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you see the guy that's playing Lestat in the TV version. Because he's
yeah.
big and blonde. And, yeah.
I've seen
But
the
no, she
first
did
two
not want Tom
episodes,
Cruise.
but I didn't go further yet. I need to watch it all. Yeah,
We
yeah.
can talk about the show that I don't like. But anyway.
Oh, really?
Some people love it.
It started out good. Yeah.
She did not like Tom Cruise, but guess what? She didn't really have a say in it because she wasn't casting. She just wrote the script.
Yeah.
So when she saw a rough cut of the movie, she changed her mind. She
Yeah.
completely changed her mind. She was like, I'm blown away. This is not something I could have predicted. I thought no, and I was completely wrong.
There are some bits in this where Tom Cruise is insanely wicked. Like,
Yes.
and
he looks so
dead.
good.
He look, you could smell him. Like he's smelling corpse. He just looks the part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
This
it was
is all
probably
movie.
because people were so doubting that he could do a good job. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise, I think me and you both know this. He's a good actor. Tom Cruise
Yeah.
is a very good actor. He's also a matinee idol. He's also a big, at that time, also, I mean, he still is, but he was like a big, handsome movie star.
Yeah.
And
he's
she
a big
thought maybe
idea
he was-
guy. He's really good at ideas, they say, like coming up with things on the spot. Yeah.
He could have been Iron Man. He was
Yeah.
almost Iron Man. Yeah. So, no, she was because I had a friend in my class who was a huge fan of the vampire books in 94. And she's like, did you hear that Tom Cruise is going to play Lestat? She's like, oh, Top Gun vampire. She was very upset.
Really?
But I'm telling you, man, I feel like he silenced all the critics because his performance is good. Like, he brings the darkness that's necessary. Yeah. But he's also having fun.
A little bit, I was kind of like, with the beginning to about 30 minutes in, I was like, oh, God, I don't remember it being this bad. It's kind of the thing, but he gets better.
Yeah. Well, he does pardon the expression because it's Vampuary. He is chewing the scenery, but in a good way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not hamming it up, but you can tell he's having fun doing the role.
Yeah. I would say all the people that turn into bodies in this movie, and there are many, look like bodies. They look and smell and taste and whatever they do. They look gross.
Did you watch it in Smell-O-Vision?
Yes, dude.
The funny thing is they really killed them. But anyway, so this
I would believe that.
This movie is like a value pack of like sexy dudes, if you think about it, because you've got like Tom Cruise. You got Brad Pitt, who was huge then, and all the ladies were like, Brad Pitt! Oh yeah. Christian Slater's still beloved. You've got Antonio Banderas in one of his very early movies.
Yeah, he looked real young. Movie. I was surprised.
He was in the Mambo Kings, I think, and maybe one or two other movies. And of course, he'd been in a lot of Spanish language films. And this was the movie that made him a star.
He was
Armand. What's that?
Armand.
Antonio Banderas.
He's a big part of the books, Armand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Big part. Got his own book. And then you had the sexiest of all, Mr. Stephen Rea, who was in The Crying Game. He was in a lot of Neil Jordan films.
He was the clown, the performer.
Sort of. He was like Armand's second in command.
Yeah.
He
was good.
I think he was good. He was good. He was really good. So the cast is really good. And then you've got, out of nowhere, the debut, I believe, of young Mary Jane Watson, a.k.a.
Kirsten Dunst.
You almost said another name, didn't you?
I don't know why. Kirsten Dunst.
She is fabulous in this role.
Yeah, she's really
for those
good.
of you who don't know, she plays a young girl who's bitten, and she's basically a vampire. So she like ages 30, 40 years, but she's still a little girl. And that's like...
Yeah, I mean, she looks like a doll with the little ringlets and the thing, and you're like,
she does.
Oh, no, this is so bad. Like, she's so evil.
And we will talk about that, but first... Do you want to get into what Siskel and Ebert thought about this here theatrical?
Yes, I really do. I'm curious. And I know this one's a little long, so let's go ahead and start. Let's roll that.
Let's sink our teeth into it.
Awaited interview with the vampire, and now it's finally time to put aside the controversy. The author of the book, Anne Rice, originally complaining about the casting of Tom Cruise, then reversing herself. Oprah Winfrey walking out during the first reel because of the blood. And now, let's review the movie, which I mostly liked.
Okay, I just learned this, actually, that she walked out of the advanced screening. I remember her show. We were home in the afternoons. Sometimes Oprah was on. Couldn't help it.
Oprah!
Whatever. She surprised her audience with a surprise screening of Interview with the Vampire.
Yes!
Yeah, and then like, after they watch it, they all come back to the studio, I guess, or whatever. And she's like, wasn't that wonderful?
I had heard about Oprah walking out, and guess what? I forgot it for almost 30 years until this.
I just remember being so excited about it, so it really surprised me when I heard she just walked out. She was like, I believe in evil, and this movie is evil. Yeah, basically.
Really?
Yeah. She didn't want to do anything to add to that,
Well, I guess the women of Brewster Place was just fine for her then.
Oh, she was out praying in the lobby, is what Tom Cruise said. So.
Wow, really? Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, okay, that is funny. That kind of reminds me of when Marilyn Manson was a big thing in the late 90s, you know?
Yeah.
And they played at the 1997 VMAs, and Chris Rock, of course, introduced him. He's like, as soon as this band plays, everybody get your butt to church. And so in the audience, you're seeing like all these hardcore rappers and rappers who like have, thug personas and they're cussing, and they're going, they're looking shocked. They're looking visibly shocked, like, oh my gosh.
He came out as the devil, for them, for sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I was wondering how Oprah's audience would handle Interview with a Vampire, because watching it now, it's really intense. It's very violent. It's very dark.
There was some criticism, actually. The studio asked him if he could tone it down a little, tone down the violence, but No, he didn't. Because there was a screening audience who didn't mind the violence, and he's like, that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Not the others that didn't like it that way.
That's right. That's right. Oh, by the way, not that this is important to the film, but Neil Jordan is very Irish.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yeah. So I can imagine a day of shooting. All right, here we go. It's time to get me Lucky Charms all in a row. Okay, Faith of Bagora. And action.
Oh, they said he actually rewrote a lot of the movie, but still had to have the the credit. So
I heard that. Yes.
Maybe he had to make it flow like a movie or something like that. She was a
because she was the book writer. Different.
Yeah, way different. Yeah.
Well, speaking of different, let's see what Siskel and Ebert say.
Let's do it.
Let's see if it's gross.
Why? Because it really is about vampires, about what they think and feel and see. Louis tells his story as the film flashes back in time to 1791 Louisiana to introduce the vampire who first bit and transformed.
Love this part. They start like twirling in the air.
Oh my gosh,
There's magic in the air.
I feel like I'm flying, Jack. You are.
Yeah.
I guess this is the perfect time as they need to talk about the subtext of the film.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like I've never read the books. I feel like the books are a little bit more blatant with a relationship angle. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, it's kind of like Buffy, where like, Spike and Angel had referenced having relations at some point.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
they're
funny.
sexy vampires and anything goes.
They are sexy vampires.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's more implied. You could call it a romance. You could call it a bromance. You could call it what you want. But it's more of a glances and gestures, and instead of a straight up make-out session. So,
yeah. And biting. Biting is fine.
Yeah, biting is cool. Biting is fine. Biting is so personal. I kind of like that better because it's more like it leaves it to your imagination.
True.
So, if you want it to be, cool. If you don't want it to be, cool.
The fanfics that were made that year, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were shipping them.
But let's get back to Defying Gravity, the first version by me.
Do you still want death? Or have you tasted it enough?
I'm fine.
What seems gratuitous in the film, maybe the part
Hey, there she is, Tandy Newton, y'all.
There she is, Tandy Newton.
Yeah.
We should say that poor Louis. Oh, go ahead.
She looks real young there.
She does.
Yeah.
Didn't Louis lose his wife and child? And he's suicidal?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah. I think in the book he loses someone different, not a wife and child, maybe a brother.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I haven't really shown you the best part of Interview with a Vampire, and that's the production design of the French locations and the whole concept, and it's a fabulous concept of an underground vampire society, and the many quiet moments in which Lestat and Louis, the two vampires, talk about what it means to really be a vampire. This is an ambitious film by Crying Game director Neil Jordan. He's trying to encapsulate both the movie myth of vampires as well as the passion, the human passion of Anne Rice's psychological approach. And he mostly makes it all work.
Yes, he mostly does. And I agree with you about those scenes in Paris, especially that underground catacomb set.
Fabulous.
Which, one of the reasons we go to the movies is to occasionally see something that really, it makes your jaw drop. And that scene...
Did you watch it recently or just back then, Shannon?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. It wasn't available to stream on any of my platforms or for free.
It's fine.
But here's the thing. Okay, I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that later. I saw it in the theater. And I rented it on video a year later.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the last time I saw it complete in 1995.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you have a memory of, whatever. Something that doesn't... I don't know.
That is true. That is true. I've got the memory of a what was I saying? So why'd you ask that question, Mashes?
Oh, I was just wondering how fresh it is in your mind because you'd remember all the set pieces and stuff being
very fresh,
exceptional.
It was, it was wonderful. It was the jaw-dropping spectacle you expect at the films. It was really cool. Like Louisiana was all lush and like a little sweaty, like you would think, especially before AC and power. Yeah.
Yes, it's true. They're in New Orleans. They go to Paris at some point, I think. And
because they're looking for vampires.
At the beginning, he's in San Francisco, I think. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of places and locations in this. Yeah.
He gets to experience indoor plumbing at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do need to talk about how Louis, real quick, doesn't want to kill anyone for a long time and subsists on rats and other animals.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. When did you eat rats?
Yeah.
It's just wonderful because it implies, in a sense, this ancient society of vampires and how long this has been going on.
Sure.
I think probably like Tom Cruise more than you did. It wasn't that I had to get used to him. I saw him. The first time I saw him, I said, well, it is Tom Cruise. But on the other hand, he did a wonderful job of looking like Lestat and acting like Lestat. And I think this is an actor who is so clean-cut in his everyday image that whenever he does something like this, we're almost saying he can't do it, and then he pulls it off. I think he's an extraordinary young actor.
Oh, I think he's a terrific actor. I'm just saying, I felt I saw him pushing the part a little bit at the top. Then I got relaxed.
If I had a criticism of the movie, the thing that I liked the best was the mood.
Of course.
The look and the mood and the relationships. If I had a criticism, it's that not really very much happens. It's more like an interview with a real vampire and a look at the real vampire society than it is a story.
But what I like is the fact that this is a guy, hey, you want to know what it's all about? Well, here's what it's all about. And this notion that this world exists, they made that world, that underground world, come alive.
Well, of course, the opening title at the bottom, it said The Vampire Chronicles. I wonder if that kind of is a hint.
There's more's coming.
We're going to get more sequels.
Oh, Ebert. don't put that in the world.
Been. That is sad, because actually Neil Jordan was preparing to make The Vampire Lestat, and something happened, and something got unhooked, and someone didn't want to do this. So then they decided to go ahead and mix The Vampire Lestat with Queen of the Damned, and we got 2002's Queen of the Damned, which was a movie. Well, you saw it. You saw it with me.
Yeah. I mean, Aaliyah was wonderful.
At least it had Aaliyah.
Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in
Oh
peace,
gosh,
Aaliyah.
yes. And Stuart Townsend taking the place of Tom Cruise. None of the returning actors.
It wasn't good.
No. Jonathan Davis wrote the music.
I know.
Korn. It wasn't very good.
They tried to make it 2000s, whatever. What do you call the middle of the early 2000s? New metal kind of a soundtrack, I guess. Or
new metal in you? Isn't that what they called it? New metal.
Yeah, you remember. Yeah, didn't make sense.
Yeah, I do. I would like slightly used metal. That's what I would do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if the novel was written in the 80s, and he was probably an 80s rock star, like probably big hair, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or maybe a David Bowie type. I don't know.
Could be.
He's big in the 80s. Yeah. I still think him and Mick Jagger are going to make out in that video for Dancing in the Streets every time I see it.
Yeah.
Everybody around the world.
What about the one without sound? They just add feet noises. Have you seen that one? You have, yeah.
I love those. Speaking of, I know we're going off on a tangent. Yeah. The ones with Kiss are the best. Because Paul Stanley is irking around the stage. You hear, lick it up. Lick it up. And then you see Gene Simmons and you hear, lick it up. Lick it up.
Oh no.
People, you've got to check out these videos. They're hilarious.
They are good. I love it.
The Prince one is great where you hear just that's
right. Oh, that's what we're
gonna do. It's like ASMR gone wrong.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
so they both gave it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. surprised.
Ebert's right. There really isn't a plot, but they do it well for that. It's like Dazed and Confused. There's no real plot, but you're immersed in that world of the 70s. You know, like they kind of do the same thing.
It's like
there, I think
you're put in the world. I mean, if anything, it is two sides of a vampire coin. Because you've got Lestat, who is loving the life of a vampire. He's biting where he wants. He's going where he wants. He's loving the world. The world is his vein. And then you've got poor Louis, and he's lamenting. You know, he's brooding. He's lamenting. He's like, I don't want to do this. This existence is torture. So you got two sides, you know. And the whole reason he says he's giving the interview to Christian Slater is that he's trying to tell him how crappy it is to be a vampire. You watch people you love die. Yep, you have to go into hiding half the time, and you know, and then you're not even invited back for the sequel. So,
Do his tapes ever get out in the other books? Do the interviews ever get out?
Yes.
Really?
Actually, in The Vampire Lestat, apparently the book is published.
Oh, okay.
So when Is that your curious sound?
No.
Hey, all right.
I don't want to go back and read them. I was young. I needed the money. I don't know.
No. Anne Rice, God love you. She wrote a whole lot of Vampire Chronicle books. She wrote the Witches books, the Mayfair Witches that people like. And she's a very popular author. And she loves Louisiana. Let me tell you, raton boulet, you know?
That's right. Yeah.
And I can say that because my sister lives in Louisiana, so it's okay.
Nice.
I love Louisiana. Louisiana's a great state.
It's cool. Yeah.
It's very wonderful. Yes. But yeah, she was very into like the Creole, the voodoo, you know, the Louisiana, the culture, the Mardi Gras, all that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you feel like you've eaten a delicious Louisiana meal.
It's true. Yeah.
With a little bit of blood. So yeah, let's talk about Kirsten Dunst for a little bit. How wonderful little Claudia is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
she was bound to be a breakout star. She's so good. Yeah.
Did you, and this was her debut, am I wrong?
Yeah, this is her first thing, I think, ever, like, in a big movie, anyway. Yeah.
Okay,
She probably did commercials
here's
and
the
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, had she? Okay, yeah. For well, I hope it wasn't for any juice. You know, this is so good. I want some more
Juice.
So Neil Jordan, he had her read and he was very impressed, but he thought maybe I need to give some other people a chance. So do you know who he wanted instead at first?
It was too early for Dakota Fanning, I think.
What? Was she born?
No, I said it's too early
she's
for
probably
that.
born.
Yeah, she's probably born, but too young. Yeah.
He wanted a little ingenue, dancing, little you can't have me, I'm a cat, Julia Stiles.
Oh, okay.
Who I do not think had been in anything at that point.
Yeah, she was in one of
she's
those
done commercials.
old episodes of like Ghost Rider or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she played the hacker that came in one day and he's like, "What do you know about surfing the web of the surf cowboy and stuff?" You need to look this up. It's amazing.
Oh, I am. Was that the time when no one knew it?
Do you know anything about hackers? Can you jam with the console cowboys in cyberspace?
What?
Ever read Neuromancer?
Huh?
Ever experienced the new wave? Next wave? Dream wave? Or cyberpunk? I didn't think so. I'll handle the hacker stories.
We're gonna roll that beautiful Julia Stiles footage. Let's do it.
We just did. Yeah.
Let's just show a clip from Save the Last Dance. It's slamming.
Yeah, that's you. Here we go.
Yeah, my wife
Save
loves
the
that
Dance.
movie. By the way, she loves Save the Last Dance. She has the soundtrack. I'm gonna out her. Yeah,
She was good in it. I like Julia Stiles in that. Yeah, I wish she was around.
It's fun. Oh, Julia Stiles is wonderful. 10 Things I Hate About You is still one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, that was the Taming of the Shrew.
It was.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
that's right,
indeed
yeah.
with Heath Ledger and that was great. They made those Shakespeare references very obvious in the film.
Oh yeah, I like it. Was it Joseph Gordon-Levitt that goes, "The shitteth hath hitteth the fanneth"?
No, it's his friend played by, and we never can remember his name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? From David Krumholtz. I just remembered his name on my total own with no help from anyone.
You can't remember his name.
No, I couldn't remember his
I
name.
love
but yeah,
David Krumholtz. Yeah.
Adam's Family. Oh, yeah. The guy's great.
Oh yeah.
No, he says that. He says, yes, it's the fan. And that movie, and I know we're going off, but that movie is great because Andrew, what's his name, gets punched in the face. And I'm all for that. The guy who plays the jerk, yeah. But back to Julia Stiles. Now, Julia Stiles was considered too old for the role by Neil Jordan.
Okay.
I don't even know.
She was probably 13, 14 maybe, I guess.
Well,
not 11.
Yeah. Because Kirsten Dunst, I feel she turned 18 at 2000 or something like that, or 99?
Something like that. 99 or
She's very
2000, I
young.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's so good. She's acting like she really has aged 40 years
Yeah.
in this movie. And let's talk about what a little psychopathic little shark of a killer she is. That's what I'm sure the novel explores the same thing, but you're watching this movie and she is just dispatching people.
Oh, yeah. Lestat even calls her a psycho. Crazy psycho.
Yes. Because there's this montage of her like going after people and biting anyone who literally gets in her way. And she's playing piano with the piano teacher. And at the very end of the montage, the piano teacher falls down dead.
But it ends the little like song she was playing, like don't like perfectly. Yeah. It's so good.
I think that lady she bites in the clip we saw was fitting her for a dress.
Yep, there was one fitting her for a dress. Then there was the lady she saw naked in the mirror or whatever at New Orleans, and she wanted to be her. And they find her dead in her bed later, and they're just like, "Oh, that girl is crazy."
I told you that girl was crazy.
She crazy, not like crazy.
Told you the great.
It's true.
Well, and we got to say the line that she says after she gets her first taste of blood.
Oh, but can I have? What is it? Is it?
I want some more.
I want some more. Yeah. I was gonna say, can I have some more?
Have some more. And it's so creepy and so good at the same time.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh no.
And that line is repeated by a fan favorite character from the Deadpool movies, Mohinder. Remember his cab driving buddy? And in Deadpool 2, he becomes a janitor for the Merc bar. And he goes, "But you don't understand, Deadpool. You remember when I kidnapped my cousin and put him in the trunk?" He's like, "Yeah, he died. I know. I'm like Kirsten Dunst. I want some more."
Oh,
and he goes, "You are like her. You are Kirsten Dunst."
I want some more.
And he says later in the movie, he's like, "I want some more."
That's so good.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, little Claudia, she's great. And then all of a sudden she's ticked off because she realized she's not going to get any older. She tries cutting her hair and it grows back.
Yep. She's in a fit because she wants to change. She wants to, grow up and be an adult woman. Yeah, but she can't do that.
Yeah.
It's sad, man.
Inside.
This whole thing is just full of self-pity but it's worthy of that, I guess.
Right.
You're not saying they're pathetic, but that's just kind of how it might be for some people in that situation. Or
Yeah, we should ask a real vampire, maybe.
Yeah,
but
fair.
do they have a rule in this movie that you shouldn't turn children to vampires? I don't
someone
know
that young, yeah. Armand does mention that at the end, but he wasn't going to do anything about it. What happened to her at the end was because all of the performers, all of Armand's people, did that behind.
Well, we got
to
to back up a little. So
Okay.
she gets tired of Lestat and his rules.
Does.
So she convinces Louis that they've got
That's
to kill him. Yes. And how does she poison him? This is so macabre.
She gets two twin boys, I guess they are. They're drunk on brandy wine, is what she tells them.
Yes.
But they're actually dead by something that makes their blood still warm. They die, but their blood stays warm, and you can't tell. And so he thinks it's, the green fairy. I can't remember what they call that.
Oh, absinthe.
Absinthe. He thinks it's
The
absinthe
green
at
fairy.
first. Like he's about to have a euphoric experience or something, and she goes,
Rip Taylor?
No, they're dead. And so he just...
And that's poison to a vampire.
Yeah, he's poisoned. She takes a knife and slices his throat,
yeah.
and then he just falls to the ground, dying, and so they put him in the swamp, of course.
Yes, well, that's what you do. That's what you do.
To
And
get
they
fed
take
on by
off.
the alligators, and you're like, oh, that must be
That's
the last of Lestat.
It's his movie. He's not the vampire being interviewed, but it is his movie.
He feeds on rats and and the snakes, and he says everything in the
gators.
swamp until he regains strength enough to crawl back home. And there he was again, and then he gets set on fire.
Just for coming back.
Just for coming back.
Did you not get the
sets
hint?
him and the rest of New Orleans on fire as they set off for Paris.
That's right,
It
Betty.
burns. It
Betty.
literally all burns.
It does. And they're looking for other vampires.
Yeah.
And they go to this theater called the Theater des Vampires. This is where the seriousness and the blah comes in.
Yeah.
This theater is ran by Antonio Banderas,
Yep.
play Armand. Yes, and Stephen Rea. And this, and for those of you who haven't seen this is real human people go to this theater. They think they're seeing actors portray
playing
vampires. Yeah, and then what happens usually at the end of every show?
They feed on a woman in front of everyone, but they think it's part of the show. But after the show was over, they all just kind of wander out. They're not clapping. They're like, that was weird.
Yeah, because they were laughing.
Yeah,
that is how it does. Because they were laughing and enjoying it, and all of a sudden she's on stage and she's like, "Help me! This isn't part of the show. Help me!"
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, she's
Here
a great
comes in-
actress. Goodness.
Oh, she is. She's so good. She's so good. But then it's so realistic that they're like,
Yeah. I like how Louis points it out when they first get there. He's like, oh, so they're vampires playing actors playing vampires. They're playing humans.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a vampire playing a dude, playing another dude.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then, of course, they find out, I believe in the movie, they find out that they were responsible for Lestat's death.
Well, they suspected because I think he heard Louis' thoughts. The second
Stephen
in
Rhea?
command. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
I think
in
that's
his
how you
mind.
pronounce his name.
He said something to the effect of, "What happened to Lestat was wrong. I feel bad for him, or whatever." And then he says, "What happened to him? Did you kill him?" Yeah, there's a big rule. You don't kill one of their kind. But Armand is taking a liking to Louis. Real harsh liking to Louis.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah. What happens next, Shannon?
Well, I'll tell you what happens next. So first off, Claudia is afraid that Louis is going to leave her. So she convinces him to bite a nice lady who is willing and voluntarily. Yeah. So the lady becomes a vampire and she becomes Claudia's mother. Because if you think about it, for the first 45 minutes of the movie, it's vampire my two dads.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yep. And as soon as she becomes a vampire, they rush into the door.
Oh, yeah, literally the second.
The vampires rush in. They grab Kirsten Dunst screaming, and it's so intense. It is very intense. And all I can see is that red-haired lady's crazy eyes and laugh. Do you remember the red-haired lady that's grabbing her and they're going down the hall, and she's like, ah!
We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun.
I still have nightmares about that, I think. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I remember that. Every time someone's interviewing the vampire, I see that face, like running Kirsten Dunst down the hallway. Or
that is so funny.
Throwing her and the mom in the pit, in the well, or whatever it is.
Yes. Yeah. To let them get a suntan. And then Louis' punishment is to be buried forever,
in
alive.
a coffin. So Armand goes directly to Louis and digs him up out of the wall. Like literally out of the wall. And,
he literally does.
He says it's too late to save them. He runs to go see, and you see they're like lifeless, ashy shapes, holding each other.
Life.
So I still remember seeing that in theater and going, "Oh my god, this is nuts!" It was sad too.
This is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah,
crazy. That's hilarious. Yeah. And so then Armand he doesn't really help Louis get revenge on the Theatre du Vampires, but he doesn't stop him.
Yeah.
And he sets fire. He kills a bunch of them. I think he beheads a few, if I'm pretty sure.
He has that sickle or whatever, death sickle.
Yes,
so he is death to these people. He cuts off the crazy lady's head, and then the second in command, he like goes fast off this way, and then Louis swings around and like cuts him up. Up through the chest, and he like falls apart. It's pretty good. That was a good action scene.
Death.
Yeah, he set every one of the comments on fire. He's getting his revenge.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was real good. Yeah.
And then basically, he goes off. He decides he's gonna live a quiet vampire life in America. Yeah. And then lo and behold, one night on his couch, who shows up? The old boyfriend. No,
that's right. No, it was. He goes back to the old place. I think in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. He goes back to Lestat's old mansion. Yeah, which is now.
He sees like rats on the ground, and he's like, I smell a distant old death, something that humans can't smell, but we can, or something like that. Yes. So he goes right to Lestat, sitting there, looking all disheveled and weak and Voldemort-y, if you will. Yeah.
Post Morty?
Post Voldemort-y. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, I like that one too. That's good.
Yeah. And,
that's true. Yeah. So, and basically, Lestat's like, I release you. It's fine.
Yeah.
So they go their separate ways. So then he.
No, he doesn't release him. Louis denies him, is what that.
Is that what it was? Okay.
He wants him to stay and make him back to his former self, help him do that. And he said, I must leave you. And he's like,
yeah. Is that how he does it?
Kind of like that.
And he says, I guarantee as he runs off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said how much you love the ending. Let's talk about the ending. The interview's over. Christian Slater, instead of being horrified and reviled by the story, take it from there. Go.
He is very interested in becoming like Louis.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, after all this, what he's learned is that he wants to experience it for himself. All of the things that he felt. You know, he can't do that unless he actually becomes a vampire. And Louis says that he has learned nothing.
Sorry, didn't mean to spoil it.
Yeah, he has failed in his task. And Christian Slater's like, Jack Nicholson or whatever. He's like, hey, I can't do
He did
Jack
get accused
Nicholson.
of aping
He's
Jack
like,
Nicholson.
no, I can't do that.
Whatever.
No, he
just
actually
bite
came out
me.
and said that he was doing a Jack Nicholson impersonation back then.
Oh, in Heather's?
in Heather's and on, yeah, through the 90s, yeah.
Oh, that's a little, well, except for Young Guns, too. I think that was pure Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, on a tangent, hopefully we'll do this movie one day. Do you know his character's name was Arkansas Dave Rudaball?
Arkansas Dave Rudaball?
Yeah, based on a
Is
real
that
guy.
his name? What? What are you talking about?
That was his character's name in Young Guns, too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I only saw it once, a long time ago. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't remember
okay.
anything.
My parents took us to see that in the theater. That was so much fun.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But it was depressing. We'll talk about it another time.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
fill us in on this ending matches because you love it. It's a really good ending. And go.
And go. So, Christian Slater takes off in his red convertible. I'll never forget that.
'Cause he's scared.
iconic convertible. He is scared. He throws everything in the car real quick and just takes off. He runs in front of cars and stuff. And he gets on the interstate or highway and he gets to
Does he have a?
He puts the tapes in and Louis
Yeah, he starts listening
from
to
the
the tape.
beginning.
Mhm.
That's what it was.
Yes.
And then there's Lestat right beside him saying, I guess I need no introduction. And he lays him back and
It's a big old bite.
it's a bit of a bite. And then he comes up and he's like on the he's got kind of a Captain Jack Sparrow kind of a swag going on. And I absolutely works for this. This was before that. So I'm just saying, I think that's where Johnny Depp got it.
I mean, that and Keith Richards. Yeah,
And
that
Keith
was
Richards,
maybe
yeah,
influenced,
there is
but
that's already
It was
a thing,
definitely
yeah.
Keith Richards. But
It's
yeah, no, you're right. Like he's been revived and he's like, oh my.
Yeah, well, you could see when he like his face looked just like it did 100 years ago or whenever
Yeah.
they met each other for the last time, and then he feeds on Christian Slater and like the color comes back in his face. I feel like he would have done that
he's-
well before, but that's fine.
Yeah. So Christian Slater's he's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's sitting in the car. And what does Tom Cruise tell him?
Yep, the vampire Lestat tells him, "I'm going to give you what I didn't have, a choice." And then
Which is what he tells.
is what he tells.
Sorry,
Christian
it's what he
Slater.
tells Brad Pitt at the beginning of the film.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
When he
yeah,
first
yeah.
meets him.
Yeah, he
Yes,
did.
yes, I'm
and then
gonna give
cue
you-
Guns N' Roses.
I was about to say, all of a sudden you hear, ow, ow. And you're like, is this sympathy
What?
for the devil? And then a second later, you're like, is this Guns N' Roses doing sympathy for the devil?
Yeah, and it was.
And it was, and you know what? When I got home a few days later after watching that movie, and I'll tell you why I said that, I bought that single right out of the music store.
Was
I
that
bought
just for that
single.
movie?
Yes.
Okay.
You can find it on their greatest hits. Of course, you can
Okay.
also find it, on iTunes, I'm sure.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, they made it just for the movie. That was like,
Somehow it worked. Like,
it did. That was
It
the
kinda
last
did.
recording that the original band did. The
Really?
original lineup. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, minus Izzy Stradlin, but yeah.
oh yeah.
But yeah, they're playing. Please allow me to introduce myself.
I'm a man. Something like that.
Oh well, the taste. By the way, I was singing that in the car, and Rocket was sitting in the back seat, and she said, "No, you're not."
Oh gosh.
She never heard the song before, and I was like, "Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste." She's like, "No, you're not, Dad." And I was like, "Quiet, watch your phone."
That's so funny.
I love her. She is a roaster.
That's right.
Yeah, that ending is perfect. Because you're like, it's a little uncertain. It gets you
Yeah.
excited for another chapter, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's
maybe
just
something
so-
good. Not something
Like you said,
horrible.
there's swagger. There's a lot of swagger.
Yeah, there's swagger, man. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise pulled it off somehow. He just looks the part. Looks
He did. He was
looked
perfect for
dead
the
as a
movie,
doornail. Yeah.
He did. Anne Rice was totally wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah,
give this?
so-
Do you agree with Siskel Ebert? There's not a lot of real substance there sometimes.
Yeah.
And it is just like the set pieces. It's the hey, this is the vampire life. It's not as great as you think it's gonna be.
And see, okay, as a 17-year-old watching this movie for the first time in the movie theater, I wasn't thinking like that.
Yeah,
but now
no.
that I think about it, there really isn't it's like a series of scenes pulled together.
Yeah,
and
that
I guess
worked.
there's no overarching plot. Do what?
There are a series of scenes that actually work, not just a
Oh, they
random
do.
series
They
of
do. Yeah, they're not disjointed.
Yeah.
They're not like go in here, go in there, go in here.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it is a little ridiculous in places. Completely,
Yes, but-
takes itself so seriously, and the language is so seriously and period, and trying
those
to be
longing,
sometimes.
those longing looks between them and between Brad Pitt and Antonio Banderas. I have to tell you about the first time I saw this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on, as I mentioned on the show before, I was part of an elite organization in my school called the FFA, Future Farmers of America.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in Kansas City for the yearly national convention, which was awesome because you got to see beautiful FFA ladies from all over the country. And I'm telling you, I don't mean to sound weird, but that is the reason I joined FFA. I was like, I can meet lots of girls. I'm in.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's fine.
It's true. I did it for the money, but it was fun. I really enjoyed the FFA. And if you're listening and you're a young person of youth and you have a chance to join FFA, do it because it is a good experience in school. I will say that. So, and like I said, my school was so small, it was either that or basketball or, or Huff and Glue. So we're on the FFA National Convention, and our school was kind of small, so we kind of combined with another small school in the area, and we rode together. And at the last night of the convention, our advisor would always give us a choice. We could either go ice skating or we could do this or that, but we always also went to the movies. So me and a bunch of dudes from the other school, I was friends with, we went to go see this movie. We're so excited. So I'm sitting in between two of them, and as they're getting very, very close, one of my friends goes, "Oh man, they're gonna kiss. Oh, he's gonna kiss him. Oh man, they're gonna kiss."
Oh no.
He was so afraid. And I'm not saying that he was like in any way, like not liking the kind of vibe. Or I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying he was a hater, but he was so funny because it made him uncomfortable. He's like, they're gonna kiss. They're gonna kiss.
Oh my god.
And the whole time I'm like, are they gonna kiss?
Is that a thing? Is that where it's going?
I'm not sure.
No,
They
they were student and teacher, I think. I don't know. They were longing looks, but they had an appreciation for each other, I think.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I don't like the series. Because the series is so blatant about it. Whereas I like the mystery of it. The will they, won't they, the bromance.
I don't mind the blatancy. I like me a good sexy party, but, it just wasn't in the movie,
Yeah, no. Well, I'll tell you this about the movie. Oh, where did you first see it, by the way? Did you go to the theater?
Gosh, I want to say
Vampire?
we did, but we probably didn't because it was too early. We weren't 17 yet. So I think we had to rent it on video somehow. But yeah, I saw it back then somehow. I don't know. Maybe I did see it.
We were
in the
allowed to
theater.
see R-rated films.
But I was so excited about it. Like, I remember being just like,
Yeah.
oh, God, this is going to be so good.
I know. And I would always rent a movie I had seen in the theater when it finally came to video, which again, at that time was like 6 months later almost.
Yeah.
Because by then you'd forgotten about the movie. So you're like, I got to watch it again. Why did I hate it? Why did I love it? That kind of thing. So I will say this about Interview with the Vampire before we give our ratings and before we say anything else.
Yeah.
This is a very good movie, but I saw it once. I saw it twice. It's not a movie that I need to watch over and over again. Like Fright Night I'll watch over and over again. Near Dark I'll watch over
it's
and
not
over again.
a delight to watch over and over again.
No, like
I don't
once you've
see why
seen
you
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's The Village. You watch it the first time and you're like, whoa. Then you watch it a second time to get all the clues you missed.
Oh, I didn't watch it the second time yet. I've been meaning to do that.
You got to.
Because I missed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be like, why didn't I see that coming?
Yeah, kind of like Dark City where they spoon feed it to you the whole time. But
Right,
you don't realize it.
Right.
But
so is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to say about Interview with the Vampire?
No, there's nothing else I can say about it. It's a fun time.
It is. Yeah, Afternoons with the Vampire. So let's give it a rating. I'll go first if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of 5 uncomfortable longing looks, I'm gonna give it 4. Because it is a very good movie, but it's not something and a lot of people love this movie and some people hate it. It's just not a movie that I need to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
And there are many movies that I can watch over and over again.
So how many did you give it?
4 out of 5.
4. Okay, 4 out of 5. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I give it on my own rating system here. When I watched it, I gave it about 3.5.
Okay.
Swirling through the air, men kissing their necks, and magic happens out of 5. So yeah, that's fine.
Are you talking about 24K magic in the air? No. Okay.
No,
Hey,
never.
real quick before we wrap up, this movie was nominated for 2 Oscars for original screenplay, and I think one of the design, either costume or set piece. And while Kirsten Dunst, I feel, was robbed by not getting a nomination, she was nominated for a Golden Globe, which is like Oscar Jr.
Are you serious?
Yes, she was. She was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, very cool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Well
think she deserved it.
Yeah.
Every performance in this movie is good. There's not a performance in this movie where you're like, ugh.
Yeah,
Like every
yeah.
performance is on.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
that
all
just
right.
about
Interview
does
with
it
the
for
Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire and Vampuary and
Goodbye, Vampire.
Brewery. I don't know. Whatever it is.
February. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, I would like say, "There's no way February." Yeah, right. Wednesday.
Right?
You got to be kidding me. Yeah, I think that wraps up interviews. What's next?
Next, Shannon, we have probably a theme song. Do we have a theme song this week?
I would say this is where Shannon sings a silly song. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
okay.
I do. I mean, every week I try to give us a theme song that
Yeah.
is both demure and erudite, and I would dare say epic in its malfeasance to expose the undercurrent of the. I just try to rock out. You know, I try to make a good theme song. Maybe this is it this week. I think it is. What do you think?
You think? I mean, I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know anything about it. So
Well, before I do this song, I do have a serious question for you. I have a serious question for you before we do the song.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. So, matches. If
Yes.
I were to buy something for $1.95 and I gave you $2, what would you get me? If I were to buy it for $1.95 and I gave you $2, what would you give me? You want me to tell you?
A nickel?
A Nickelback. Look at this great podcast. Those 2 wacky dudes made me laugh. Talking movies so good it hurts. With help from Siskel and Ebert. The fugitive didn't kill his spouse. House Party turned it inside out. Pulp Fiction went all over the place. And what the heck was in that briefcase? Oh, NOMS. Key change. Every Tuesday they drop another episode, and every 19th movie you'll find Danny Trejo. It's time to watch it. Time to watch it. Oh my, these guys. NOMS is the podcast you've been waiting for. Almost as much excitement as Gene Triplehorn. It's time you listen. Time you listen. High five. Listen to this podcast. Matches and Shannon will take you back. Okay, hey, did you love it? Do you want to dawdle on the hoose? Hey, Surrey, not Surrey.
Well, I think we're just going to have to skip it this week.
Okay.
It's just not going to happen this week. We're not going to do the song at all.
I get it.
Just don't do the song.
All right, I tried. Hey, I will say this. I don't know if you remember when I worked in the radio, but I briefly worked in the radio business. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, we were giving away tickets to go see Nickelback and Three Doors Down, which at the time they were 2 of the hottest bands. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And for some reason, our station only bought 2 tickets. So don't know why. Just 2 tickets. That's what we were giving away, a pair of tickets.
Okay.
So what I did was do promos for the contest that we were going to do to get finalists for the tickets.
Yeah.
And at one point, I don't know, at the very end of the commercial I made, I said, "Void in Canada."
Oh.
Yeah, because, that's where they're from. Eh?
Yeah.
So,
That's great. I love it.
what's up to all our Canadian listeners?
Do we have? We probably do. There's probably one.
I hope we do. I love Corner Gas. Who loves Corner Gas? I love Corner Gas.
Yeah. Something like
That's
that.
a good show.
That's true.
Hey, speaking of things we love, what would you call the next segment? Matches.
I would call
Hang on.
the next segment.
Ready?
The
I'm ready.
video movie corner pick of the week.
I think we kind of harmonized.
That's good. Yeah.
By accident.
I don't know.
Let's try it again. Wait! No,
It's not going to work.
done.
It doesn't
It's
work.
done. Nope. But you force it. You force it.
Man.
Well, matches. Do that face one more time.
I don't know how.
I don't know what I did.
Something like that. I don't know.
Oh my! You look like an upset fish. I fell for the hook again. You're an adorable fish. Can I just say this? Natchez is my best friend, and his brother is my best friend. And you guys are awesome, and I miss you. This is wonderful.
I miss you too. You're still
Look
far
at
away.
this photograph.
Yeah, we're not in the
So-
same studio at all, in case anyone was
No,
wondering.
that's right. Like if I were to do this, I would not touch Matches at all. I would not touch him at all. But we're live. So tell them about the video movie quarter pick of the week.
Well, Shannon, video movie quarter pick of the week is the segment of the show that we love the most. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. It's really good, though. So what we do is we pick a movie from the video movie corner down the road, and we tell you about it. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it real quick this week.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha. We're going to make it real quick. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, please.
All right, Soldier Boy, tell him. So this is Vampuary, or Vampuary.
Oh, nice.
So in honor of that, I'm going to throw out a vampire movie that I love, that is one of my favorite vampire movies, and also a great movie. Now, like Dark City last week, like you did, we may actually want to do this for an actual NOMS episode, because it's really good, and I'm pretty sure Siskel and Robert reviewed it. It is a movie from 2000 that you know how Nosferatu, the remake, just came out, the second remake of it.
Yeah.
Well, this is a little independent movie called Shadow of the Vampire, which is a sort of it's a behind the scenes, quote unquote, of the filming of Nosferatu, which was the very first vampire film.
Yeah.
And the reason that they changed every name from Count Orlok to all these different names is because they could not get the rights to Bram Stoker's story Dracula. And his widow threatened to sue because nothing was different except for the names and some of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But this is the story of the making of Nosferatu, but it posits the theory of, what if the actor Max Schreck, who is a great name, by the way, Max Schreck, who played Count Orlok, was actually a vampire?
Yeah.
What wackiness would ensue? This movie, it stars Willem Dafoe as Max Schreck, one of his best performances. He was nominated for a supporting actor Oscar for this.
Yeah.
Very well deserved. It stars John Malkovich as F.W. Murnau, the director. And it's also got Carrie Elwes, who I love. Carrie Elwes is great.
Yeah.
You know, as you wish. And it is sort of behind the scenes. Murnau's trying to get his film made, and he's trying to make sure that the majority of the cast and crew do not get eaten. And he does promise the vampire certain people. But at one point, he's like, why did you eat the script girl? Couldn't you at least eat like a...
Like, it's a really high concept. It's a good concept. Maybe better than the movie itself, but it's so good. Like,
definitely more dialogue than the original.
Yeah.
It is so good. I won't spoil it for you, but Shadow of the Vampire, it's got some humor in it. It's dark. It's so good. Like, the first time I saw this movie, I immediately ran it over to y'all's house. Like, the next day, and I was like, you gotta watch this.
Yeah. I
It's just
appreciate
good.
that.
So you're welcome. Well, I would suggest Shadow of the Vampire. Check it out
before
we do the NOMS episode, so you'll be in the know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's your turn, Matches.
All right. Well, I'm going to do a little movie.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. It just happens to be an anime. An anime?
Oh, an anime.
Anime, Japanime. Yep. It is from 2017. It has had 98% on Rotten Tomatoes currently. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
And you said 2017.
Yes. It is called Your Name.
It's called Shannon?
Your Name. No, it's just your name.
Shannon.
No.
Oh. State your name. Your name.
It's called Your Name. And
I've heard of this title.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's about a boy.
Tell me about it, because I don't know anything about it.
It's about a guy and a girl. I guess they're younger. They're in high school, maybe. And they find each other because they've swapped bodies.
As one tends to do.
Yeah, as
The
one
hot
tends to
chick.
do.
They stole the hot chick.
Kinda. Yeah, they stole the hot chick. But it's much better than that. It's a little cheesy at first. You got to kind of stick with it. The songs in it are kind of cheesy, but they only work within this movie, I think. Like, there's this one song that you playing over and over by this band. I don't know who it is, but by the end, you're like, oh my God, I love that song. And even though it's kind of terrible, but the movie is so good. It will just have you riveted till the end. It's got a little plot twist and then a turn, and then, there you are smack dab in crying fit land there at the end. Yeah, it's real good, Shannon. You need to check out Your Name. Yeah.
Okay. Shadow and the Vampire and Your Name are this week's video movie corner pick of the week. We can't harmonize again. We'll do it next week.
Yep.
Okay, state your name, please.
Your name?
State your name, please. No, not your name. What is your name?
Matches?
Matches the Vampire. Is that how you like to be called?
Yes.
Count Matches, maybe?
Yes, Count Matches.
Okay. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. So I'm just ask a question. So when did you get turned into a vampire?
About 200 years ago.
Wow. So 1945. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not very good at math. I'm more of a writer of the plot twist, if you will. Okay, about 200 years ago. Great. Okay, I just got some questions for you. I'm so curious about what a vampire's mind is like. Did you have a brat summer?
I had a bratwurst. Is that what you're asking?
You had a bratwurst summer.
Yes.
That sounds good. A bratwurst summer sounds good. When it comes to fine music, who do you prefer? Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth with Van Halen? Which was the better frontman?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke? Cocaine? I know cocaine.
Hot or not? Okay, you know what?
What's the question?
I can't go on anymore with this interview. This has been a bit of a setup. I got to warn you. Look, this wasn't my idea to do this. An old friend of yours who you haven't seen for many years wanted me to do this interview.
Oh.
And they would like to say hello. So just hold on 1 second. Hello, Natchez.
Thurman
it's
Merman.
me, Claudine. It's Claudine.
Claudine.
Years ago, you turned me into a vampire, and now I've been a 12-year-old girl forever.
Oh, no.
Don't look at this.
I don't
And my
remember.
accent keeps changing.
I don't remember.
Why, Matches? Why?
I thought you were dead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I was asleep. I was asleep, you sucker. Okay, so next time you want to turn me into a vampire, just make sure I'm 18, okay? Because I can't drive. My accent keeps changing, as I said earlier. I've got this weird facial hair. I don't know what's happening. I look like them and Merman, all right? I'm not loving it. And just have a courtesy next time, okay?
Sorry, bud.
My gosh.
Yeah, you want me to put you out of your misery? You want me to put you down, buddy?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put
I
you
would
down.
rather have been bitten by an umpire. At least I could have some fun, make some calls. My gosh, I'm out of here.
Oh.
Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? I leave the podcast for 5 minutes. What just happened?
I can't divulge that information, but that's okay.
I got you. Because the shame. We'll probably cut this whole part.
There's a lot we can
Well,
cut in
man.
this.
No, yeah, that's right. Well, we hope that you enjoyed Vampuary bleeding into February.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey.
There was a lot at stake. There we go. Yeah, sorry. I hope you enjoyed it so much. And thank you for listening or watching. If there's anything you loved or hated about it, or if you want us to do another theme month, how should they contact us, Matches?
They should contact us below in the comment section, wherever they're listening to this. And also at our Gmail, nomspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky. Just search for NOMS !podcast.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Well, we're so glad that you joined us. And we just want to let you know that we're going to have a lot of fun next week. I think we're going to have a very special episode.
We are. We're going to have to do a special. Are we going to say it right now?
Oh, only if you want to. We can leave them in suspense.
I think we're going to do, if we don't do it next week, we'll do it the next week. We are doing a special on David Lynch. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
The
going to
late
say
great David
directed
Lynch.
by David Lynch. The whole episode right here. Right here.
The whole episode, like John Carpenter's Vampires, is going to be David Lynch's NOMS.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, you're not going to have no idea what's going on.
No.
And you're not sure you know what happened.
Yep. Shannon's going to talk backwards.
How McLaughlin may show up. You never know.
It's true. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And and then we're going to have a very special May podcast. We're going to do nothing but May West movies. It's May West month. You're going to love it, baby. Come up and see me sometime.
It depends on if they're good. I don't care.
That's true. Can I just say something real quick? My mom, who doesn't listen to the podcast, or does she? She used to do May West impressions when I was young.
Are you serious?
She would, because she watched those movies as a kid, so she'd be like, "Come up and see me sometime, big boy."
That's great.
And my mom also, and you never got to see this, but in the early mid-90s, she did a great Pat impression from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I bet. Okay. Yeah.
I'm talking full on.
Yes. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's great.
You ask her to do it, she's not going to do it for you.
Oh.
She will not.
She won't? No. Wow.
She's not. No, she's not a dancing monkey. But if you're really sweet, I am. If you're really sweet to her, she might do it for you.
Okay. I don't know how to be sweet. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that was Vampy. Yep. Thank you so much. And Matches, anything else to say before we're out of here?
Now let's get out of here.
All right. See you guys. Bye. Thank you for watching Theater de Vampire.
Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom.